Hey, what's up guys? I have something really awesome I want to share with you. I'm going to unbox this right here. Let me show you guys. Wow. This is the Razertip SE wood burner, and the reason this is special is because I was asked to collaborate on this with other artists. If you turn this around, you can see one of my wood burnings right here. I mean, just how cool is that? So cool. Let's get this unboxed. Oh yeah. One thing I love about this unit is how compact it is. When you are done using this, you can just stick it in a drawer for safekeeping and just pull it out when you need it again. This also came with a cord to power the pen here by sticking this right in the hole here, if I can see through my camera. And also comes with a screwdriver for changing out the nibs that you see here. It comes with a brass bristle brush, and also these stickers right here are pretty awesome. And the guide to burning book that is included is pretty awesome as well. And this will take you from beginner projects to advanced, and there are some amazing projects in here that people do. And they will show you how to do this step by step. And I made a Viking/Celtic boat anchor, okay, page 38. So here is my Celtic boat anchor. You could pull this off and actually use for some graphite transfer if you just wanted to transfer this. If you turn the page here, I take you step by step on how to wood burn this. Now we are going to be making one of my favorite designs, which happens to be a Viking and Celtic design. And I use the base of this design for almost all of my Viking artwork. So we have two pieces of wood right here, and I am going to demo this right quick on the dog tag before we go to this. And so we are going to turn this on, and I'm probably going to go about 6 for this. We are going to let this heat up just a little bit. So I can already smell this starting to heat up, and the end of the nib is getting this bronze color. So now I am going to write my name. Just like this, and I have that heat up way too high for this wood, so I'm going to turn it down to 4. And the idea when you're writing your name here, you want to keep a slow and steady, consistent speed. I say slow, but if you have the heat turned up, you probably need to go faster. And if you have the heat turned down, you need to go slower. So you have to strike a fine balance between that. And so this is a really crummy example, but this is how the nib works. You can get all kinds of different designs in there, like this. I like this because you can get really articulate with this. So let's actually, I'm going to do something like this and show you guys how to do that. So we're going to start right here. I am going to make a line down the center. Well, it's almost down the center, but you get the idea here. I am going to make this, we are just going to guess here. I'm going to go to my first point right here. This isn't perfect, I'm just kind of doing this on the fly because I've done it a lot. And go like this. The next one. We're going to go just like this. And I may have made these too big. I think I did, but it's all right. And this isn't perfect, but I'll make it work. So for this part, we are going to take this right here and go around. Just like this. Okay, this is looking pretty straight for the most part. It's a little too big, but I will correct that while I am wood burning. So I am going to do this right here. I'm going to make almost the same design. Go here. And go here. And this side, let's see, I think I am going to I'm going to overlap this a little bit to give this some dimension. So this part right here, if you can see, it's overlapping. This may take you a few times to look at to kind of understand what's going on, and it's going to make a lot more sense once it's completed. So now, since this part overlaps, this part's going to overlap. And we can straighten this up. This is kind of like a rough sketch. Let's go ahead and connect these two right here. Now I changed my mind on the design, so we're going to come right down here. Watch this. Just like this. See how that's overlapping there? Come to the bottom and overlap this. And we will fix the size of this in just a second. Okay, now these two come to a point. Okay, is it starting to make sense now? We are going to have to clean up everything here so we can make this straight. I may erase some here in the middle and erase here and there to make sure everything is lined up properly. I don't have everything symmetrical right here, and I want you guys to see my mistakes. I do not have it all together. Basically, the reason I want to mimic this design, and you may say to yourself, well, this looks different. It is, but this has the same DNA as this does right here. Now, to get started, we are going to use the BPH pen and just kind of go along the sides here. So the first thing you want to do is to take this. I'm going to put this around 4.5, and I'm going to keep this here for reference. And we are going to just trace the pencil lines and keep a slow, consistent speed. Just like this. Now we are going to go over this one more time because I want my edges to be super thick. Now I'm going to turn this up to about 5 here. Be sure you don't cross your lines. I've crossed my lines many a times. Okay, you can see I'm starting to kind of get divots in the wood, so I'm going to take this back just a little bit, right under 5. Your temperature setting and the speed at which you drag your hand depends on the type of wood that you are burning. This wood is burning very easy, so I think it's going to work best right about here. So let's keep tracing the lines here. Yep, I should have made this a little bit smaller because we are cutting off at the end here, but it's all right. Okay, we got this scored out. Now we need to thicken up all of the lines here. So we are going to go back over this, and I'm going to have the BPH pen to the side here to get a little bit more nib real estate, and just kind of overlap and get some deep, dark burn. Well, really not very deep, but dark burns rather. If you keep your nib in one place, it's going to burn through, and you're going to get divots and stuff in the wood, and it's going to look nasty. So we want a really good dark burn. So make sure you keep the nib moving. Now actually, I think I need to go up just a hair. So we are going to thicken up everything here. We can erase our pencil markings here. This will kind of clean everything up. That way we can see. I'm starting to get some buildup on my brush, so I'm going to turn this off and just slightly brush the tip of this. And since this side right here is a little bit bigger than this side, to offset that, when I thicken this, instead of going to the outside edge, I am going to go to the inside edge. What this is going to do is to thicken it up closer to the center, which will make this more inset than this offset, if that makes sense. So if one side is larger than the other, thicken up your lines and go to the inside, and this will make it look even. Now that still looks a little bit bigger, so now I can go to this side and just lightly just kind of feather in a little bit more over here. And now they're starting to look pretty darn straight. So that's how you problem solve with this. Okay, this is looking pretty good. You can see this hammer here, how this, all of it looks similar. All of it's different, but it's similar. That's because I am keeping the basis of this DNA in all of my designs here. So what I'm showing you is very foundational. You can take this and change it a billion different times and get different results. Okay, now we are going to make sure our wood burner is in the off position because our switch is off and our light is off. And we are going to lightly unscrew the flathead screws on the sides. And I am going to take this shader here. To insert the nib, we want to go right at the back and just press down, and it kind of holds in place. So now we are going to screw this back on. Don't over tighten this, just kind of snug it up. Now I am going to turn down my heat. The way that this works is by putting the shade side right here and just kind of pulling to the side and just lightly fading in and adding some shading. You see the shade starting to happen? The longer we stay there, the darker it's going to be. So we want to go slow, then kind of speed up, and that way we can get a good shade in there. And I'm going to go ahead and crank this to 5. We are going to go to the intersection of all the knots and shade them. And one of the secrets for shading, especially Celtic knots, is by fading it out a long way, because if we just left that kind of like that, it looks nasty to me. So we are going to go back here and go ahead and fade this one out a longer ways, because we want a gradient shading to be all the way down almost. There we go. Now it's looking nice and even. Okay, that is looking pretty decent, but I want to go in between the edges right here and just kind of overall darken the insides up. And this just depends on the style that you are going for, but I like mine to be really dark. Now I should have left a little bit of shading in the middle, but that's alright because we can change that. So I'm just lightly doing the insides of the design to give it some dimension. This is a personal preference. And since I changed my mind on how much shading I had there, I'm going to take my knife and just lightly remove some of the shading in the middle. We want just a little bit of light in the middle of this. This feels a little naked, so I am going to add a little bit more, I guess you would say, pizzazz and do some shading in the middle. And you can see here I'm going at an angle and getting some deeper dimension in there by adding a little bit darker shading on my outlines. This is like one of the biggest parts of getting this to look good. Now we are going to put the ball point nib in and use it. Now we are going to switch from the ball end to the Razertip nib. Now I want to add a little more character, so I am going to add some straight lines right down the middle. Okay, here we go. I think this turned out pretty good given the time and how fast we rushed through this. When I look at this, I can see some noticeable mistakes, but that's all right. That's what learning and growing looks like. You are going to make mistakes, and if you are a beginner wood burner, learn from these. This is why I showed you this. I didn't take all day with this like the Viking boat anchor you will find in this guide. So I just wanted to show you the real world. This is what it looks like. And as I go through this guide to wood burning that you get with a Razertip SE kit, I am just blown away. I mean, look here at the lock. Look at this wood burning here. I'm just so blown away. I don't even know why I am in this book for. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. You need to give me some lessons. Seriously, that is insane. I'm embarrassed to even show this on camera after seeing that. So this is just so cool. So if you are a beginner looking for a wood burner, and I'm not just saying this because I was a part of the launch team, if you are looking for a wood burner and you don't know where to start, I have been with Razertip for years before they even knew who I was. And I have always loved their products, and their customer service is second to none. You will not find another wood burning company that has the service like Razertip does. They are based out of Canada, and I own about 4 or 5 of their wood burning units, and they are all amazing. So if you are a beginner wanting to know how to do pyrography and wood burning, look no further than the Razertip SE. I completely stand behind this, and the support that you get with this and all of the fantastic artists that they have featured in here that teach you how to wood burn is just crazy. I am going to go through this book myself and learn more about wood burning, because right here is the extent that I do, honestly. I need to learn how to do more and extend my skill set. So I am just so excited to do this video and show you guys this. This has been fun. So if you enjoyed the video, hit thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, hit thumbs up anyway. It will help me out so much. So I will leave a link below to this Razertip SE. And like I said, I highly recommend it. I love this unit. I'll probably end up using this more than my other units that I have. It's just so cool and compact. So you guys take care, and I will leave a link below to this wood burner, and I will see you in the next video.